All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mind Over Matter. I think it's episode 25, 26, one of the two. Um, this episode we had on Sara Im. Very, very happy that she came on. Very fortunate. Thank you, Sara, for coming on. She survived the killing fields of Cambodia during 1970, and now she lives down here in Tampa. And we just ran into each other on a entrepreneur forum because, as you all know, me and Kevin are working a little bit on the side, uh, trying to
Always.
get a little digital marketing going. But we'll get there when we get there. Anyways, yeah, Sara came on. She reminded me. I told her at the end. She reminded me a lot of my grandmother. She is able to face adversity with a smile on her face still, and just you'll see throughout the whole conversation. She's just so, I don't know. She tells the story with such a light heart, and it's it's very, it left both me and Kevin speechless.
Yeah, rarely am I left speechless, and her story left me speechless. Like hearing what Sarah went through and what she overcame, right? It is like getting punched in the face with perspective. Like everything that I think, like, oh, if I
by
don't
like
have like my nicotine pouches or some shit, dude, I'm just gonna die. You know, but
yeah,
I
it's
don't want
like
to spoil
by
it,
Mike Tyson too. Like this ain't no
dude.
regular punch.
Iron Mike right to the jaw,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
So no, it's a great episode. I'm super thankful that she came on, and I think we should just get into it, dude.
yeah. Y'all enjoy.
Let's-
All right.
We are
Good.
live. Welcome back, everybody. Very special guest here. A little background. Me and Kevin have been working for our own agency. We started our own advertising and online presence agency, and I recently went to a forum, a entrepreneur forum. Got very lucky. It's called M3 Linked. I'll put the description and everything below. But I recently just joined yesterday, and when I went to my first meeting, Sara was there, and to say the least, I was very, very excited to have another speaker in the room. Just another person who speaks for a living. I don't do it for a living, but that's what I enjoy doing is talking. So it was very nice to have someone with me that's also on kind of the same type of journey, but just with a different story. And Sara opened up and told me she wrote her own book about the struggles she had in her life, and just from that, I emailed her and hopefully crossed my fingers that she'd come on and share with us a little bit of what she went through. And luckily enough, here she is. So Sara, how have you been? How are you doing since we talked?
I'm doing good. Well,
Good.
thank you for the invitation. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for showing up. Discord's a little hard to use, but we got it done and we're here. And Kevin, how you doing today?
I am phenomenal. I'm super thankful to you, Sarah, for coming on, and had a lot of shit going on personally, and I'm really excited about the future. So, with that said, let's get into it.
All
Sure.
right. Well, Sara, I guess if you if you'd like to just start from the beginning, where you grew up and where you're from, and we could just go from there.
Sure. Okay. I will share my journey. So as you can tell, I'm not born in United States. I was born in Cambodia and grew up in the farm area. My parents are farmers. So in my childhood, I enjoy the nature because we live in the countryside. I was the firstborn child, and as you can imagine, I I was loved, and I feel secure um, in my life when I grew up. So my parents always encouraged me to keep going in school, to get going, and uh, I they encouraged me to pursue higher education because they don't want me to grow up as a farmer. They say it's hard work. I don't want you to be a farmer like us. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, as soon as I can, I attend college.
What college?
College, college is it's a college of engineering, and I pursue chemical engineering.
Wow.
I
Is-
I like math. I was good at math, and that's the only thing that I can see. It's possible that to use math as a profession, so there's not much option, not much
Yeah.
opportunity to do anything in a small country like that. So the closest thing that I can do is engineering. So I left my hometown and my family behind, and going to college. And that college is located in the capital city. That is about 350 miles away from my hometown.
Oh wow. Okay.
Y-
Is that
Yeah,
is that normal for people in Cambodia to do to travel like that to go to college? Because here in America, it's. I mean, if I chose to go to college over in California to leave my family, that would be kind of normal. At least now, is that kind of the standard over there or no?
well, it's the same. If you want to go to college, you have to leave your hometown
Okay.
because not that many college available everywhere in the country.
I
Yeah.
was gonna ask how many colleges like did you have a pretty good selection to choose from in Cambodia or probably not?
Not much. So there is a college that you can pursue uh, medical, anything to do with medical, like doctors and pharmacy, all that. And then there's a college that if you are good at literature, I don't know much about it, but there is a college that you can attend. There's a different option there. But if you are good at math and science, that's where I end up. I end up in this university that they have different major that you can concentrate on.
And so when after college, what happened after college? You ended up getting a degree in math or college? I'm sorry, chemical engineering, and then where'd you go from there?
I did not get to finish.
No.
Why? Why?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
There was a distraction.
What?
They, the communist Khmer Rouge came in. They invade the country.
Wait. So this was I don't want to offend you. This you went to college in like the 80s?
It's in the 70s.
Like I don't know. I'm like, bro, I don't know what number to give, dude. Um like early 70s or like late 70s?
Mid 70s.
Okay, so like not that long after the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
Are
it's
these
about
this
yeah.
are these the same communists from Vietnam?
No,
Okay.
it's
Where are these ones coming from?
this one is from the own people, Cambodian people.
Oh, really?
Oh,
They
okay.
yep, they was persuaded to like communism. So there was a lot of propaganda. The communists come from outside, and I don't know where they come from, where it started, but they took the young people from school. They took the teacher. Some people that is open-minded to listen to the concept of communism. So they took them somewhere and trained them and brainwashed them. You know how they brainwash the young people? They brainwash to be angry and mad at the people that live in that uh, current government.
So
Oh, okay.
they
So
they persuaded the people in Cambodia to think that the existing government was oppressive, right?
yes,
Okay. And then that's where they get kind of angry and more
yeah,
like inclined to act on. Okay, okay.
yeah. So let me back up a little bit about the the, the politics in Cambodia. For centuries, Cambodia was a royalist. We have we have royal family. We have the
Okay.
king and queen. king and queen that ruled the country for many centuries. And in 1970, there was a change. There was an abrupt change that the there was a liberation from royalists.
Like
So
a violent liberation?
no, not too violent. Uh, there was a vote, and um, the democracy won over the royalty.
Okay.
So it's become democracy. So there
Okay.
were, yeah, there at that time there was they elected the president and all the government office, everything, not under the royal family anymore, but under the normal people.
And that was more lean towards communism.
No,
Not yet.
that was not yet,
Okay.
not yet.
Yeah.
That was capitalist.
Okay.
At that time, the United States got involved. They sent some military aid to help to protect the country from communism. But the people in that government, there are a lot of corrupt people. So the money that Russia receives, it now used probably to strengthen the military needs.
Like the US gave Cambodia like humanitarian aid, but the new government was like, "Oh, we'll just take all of it and spend it on the military."
We don't know that. We don't know that. We
Okay.
I mean,
don't
no
know.
one knows.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything that it's not really. I don't know for sure, but it's only the speculation.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a group of people that they don't like the new government. They they were okay with the royalists that usually under the king and the queen and all that. But now the new government that are not royal, they don't really like it. Especially they receive some support from United States. So this new group people that lean toward communism. So they learn more about communism, and then they buy into the communist concept.
Right. So
And
so that was all happening when you were going into college, and so it shifts to democracy, and then while you're in college it's kind of unraveling that people are more communist there, and then before you can finish college it's almost full-blown communism and you can't go to college anymore.
yeah, well, the communism is just something behind the scene. They did not
Yeah.
reveal themselves. They only took the youth, the young people, and maybe some teachers and some people who want uh, to see the country go the different direction. So they go and get training, and the training, like I said, it's it's not it's not healthy. It's the training of brainwashing to turn people against our own people. So
And like they're sneaky with it too, right? Like they're not like, "Oh yeah, we're communists. This is how great it is." It's like they're a little bit more sneaky in how they present the idea, right?
yeah, yeah, I think so. I don't know. I haven't been into their training ground, so I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Good. Did you know anyone that like got recruited into these camps?
No, but the result come out when they took over the country.
So
Mm.
okay, so when did that happen?
April 17, 1975.
Wow. And that was a liberation, or is that just another? Is that more of a coup, and they showed up and said, "This is ours now"?
The coup.
Yeah.
It's the military takeover.
Yeah.
They came in military truck, tank,
Wow.
and a soldier with automatic gun. All that processing coming in through the street of the capital city. So I was peeping through my window. and see, see. So I see the processing came in, the military
Yeah.
truck and all that. Wow. So we have no idea what to expect. And
Did
Yeah.
you knew it wasn't like like the state military though?
state,
Like
Like you knew that these guys were communists and not like the existing government though.
right, right. We know because they dress up in black. Their uniform is black uniform.
oh,
Our our existing military is like the green is the normal military
right.
uniform. But these people they wear black uniform. So we know this is totally different, and we have no idea. At that time, I was hiding in the empty school building. Um, when they came in, no nothing was open because we just finished celebrating New Year. Cambodia celebrate New Year in April, the middle of April.
Okay. And
Oh,
Don't ask me to explain all that. It's just
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, good to go. Yeah.
so so when we celebrate New Year, we shut down everything. We just enjoy celebrating for 3 days. So at the end of 3 days, they came in. So
oh,
When
everything was still shut down. So how convenient, right?
and
right.
They
everyone's all hung over too, probably.
Yeah, they just
I know I would be hell. 3 days of partying. Yeah, of course, bro.
but our celebration is not about party. It's something totally different.
It's
right. It's
different
like
from like how we do.
yeah, it's probably is it closer to probably like the Chinese New Year where there it's like a whole festival and everyone gathers everywhere.
Festival,
Yeah.
dancing, and all that, and eating.
I wish we had that. Like we just use New Year's as an excuse to party and like have fun.
Yeah.
But like I don't like think anything about New Year's like, oh yeah, it's like there's not really anything significant behind it really. I'm
So
sorry.
that's okay. So when they came in, everything was already shut down. But I was hiding in the empty school building with my uncle and his family. My uncle and his family used to live in the suburb, but when the gun sound and the rocket and everything sounds so close, we got very scary. So we're looking for a strong building to hide in. We found the empty school building that's a brick building and it looks safe. So we went and hide in there. So when they proceed to come in, took over the country, we saw all that. And some people raised the white flag, say peace, peace, peace. But I have no idea what is going to happen. But the next day we found out that they went door to door to everywhere that they could. They point the gun at people. They say, get out, now, now."
Wow.
So we get out. If we don't, get shot right then. So
That
we
and that
don't.
actually happened though. Like they actually kill people like that.
Yes,
Oh my god. What the
yes, yes. They will shoot you because you don't obey. This is the
wow.
new ruler.
Yeah.
They consider themselves the ruler. They took over. They win.
The
They win
rightful
over the
ruler.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they evacuate people from all the city. I thought they evacuate only from Phnom Penh, the capital city, but later on I found out everywhere, all the city was evacuated. Imagine at that time there were 7 million people
Oh
in the
my
whole
god.
country. Yeah, so
And
they
they just rounded people up and like
mhm, yeah
and did what with them?
they round people up and they push us to walk out from the city. They didn't have solution for us. No, you just walk out. Don't ever come back.
Oh.
Well, they lie to us and say, just get out right now. Because the bomb will be dropped.
Right.
There will be the bomb. So hurry, hurry, go out. So we cannot take much with us. I just have a few clothes, and my uncle has some food, and that's it. We pack up and went. And there, remember, everything was shut down. So if we run out of food, forget it. You don't
Yeah.
have anything to eat. You just stay hungry. So
So
we slept. Yeah, we walked and we slept on the ground. There's no place to sleep. Just sleep on the ground.
wow. So
I'm just
where?
think
What was your plan? What were you guys? Or I guess it was be more of what was your uncle's plan? Did when they were pushing you guys out of the city? You were. I mean, what was next? You know.
Well, his wife um, have a relative, have his her relatives in the suburb, not in the suburb, in the village, a little beyond the suburb. So
Okay.
it's along the river. So we walk along the river. There's a road, so we walk along that road and try to go to her hometown. So that's our direction. But other people that don't have anybody in the suburb or in the village, they just they just
She's
live their
homeless.
life.
Yeah, homeless
They
now. Yeah.
yeah, homeless. Yeah, we are all homeless at that time.
Yeah.
Before we get to her village, we are homeless.
I mean, yeah, you pretty much just get told to like get out, and like if you don't have
Yeah.
anywhere to go, where are you gonna go?
Like we just wander. So we just follow the crowd.
Did they ever give the option to stay if you want? You said they took the people or took some of the young people and brainwashed them, and then just if you weren't chosen, that's it, or how did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The young people that have been brainwashed, they when they came in with the military takeover, they are brutal. They are rough. They shout at us just like they treat us like their enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Was there like a big difference you saw with the the royalty versus the
Is it democracy?
democracy? Yeah.
When that
The
shifted,
difference.
yeah, when they shifted and you guys voted for a democracy or however, did you see a big difference or was it kind of just around the same with
Now,
different people?
now much different. The
Yeah.
lifestyle, the government, everything is the same.
Because
It's just yeah.
that's what I'm trying to think of is like in my mind, in order for a communist uprising to take place, right? Like people got to have a pretty big problem with the existing government. So I thought that like democracy came to Cambodia and like it was just really bad there, like no one liked it. But like if things didn't change all that much, like why did these communists like feel so feel such a need to take over?
Well, the situation that have been existing for centuries is that there are rich people, there are very poor people. So there's a big gap in between. So the communists, their propaganda is that everybody will be equal. No more
Uh
rich, no more poor. So that's their number one weapon.
like the promise of equality.
Mhm. Yeah.
I gotta say though, like, or I gotta ask, do you see any parallels in like the U.S. versus Cambodia in terms of like saying, oh, you know, these people are oppressing you, and if we rise up, then like no one will be in poverty?
I haven't thought about that.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah,
Because I
because I agree with you, Kevin. I've seen through what you're telling, I do see a little bit of relation to the American politics right now. Is the fear propaganda and you're oppressed and it's not you decide you're oppressed, you're being told you are oppressed. So
Mhm.
it's kind of it's fear instilling just like it seems like just like communists. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they're sneaky here because, like, normally communism it's just the oppressed versus the oppressor. Like, you're in one of those two groups.
Mm.
But here they don't really make that divide where it should be, like the rich versus poor. It's like they make it a race thing now,
Right.
where if you're white, you are inherently the oppressor, and then if you're anything else, you're like the oppressed.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
I definitely see some parallels because all I hear right now is this promise of like equity. That's like the new word, right?
Mhm.
But it's like, okay, if everyone has equal outcomes, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if everyone has equal outcomes, then it's almost like everyone thinks that outcome's going to be good, but then if it's just an equally poor outcome,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
were
I just see some
these were Cambodian communists then, is what you're saying? So
Yeah.
they came from Cambodia and decided to go against Cambodians.
Right.
So
Right.
was there so right now there's a big divide in America with just the left leaning versus the right leaning politics. A huge divide. Was that very visible over there before the takeover and before the outbreak, or did it just kind of sneakily, like Kevin said,
It's
come out?
sneaky.
Yeah.
they're
They
sneaky, bro. Yeah.
sneaky. They hide in the forest, in the jungle. So their training camp is somewhere maybe in the jungle. Nobody know. But when the time comes, they come out very strong, very aggressive.
Because, like, in their mind, they're not communists per se. They're freedom fighters, right?
They probably consider themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But they are communists, and they come to punish all the people in Cambodia. Their role is punish all of us because we we didn't do anything about it. So they are the one who did. So
Okay.
So even though they view you as oppressed, right, it's still your fault because you let this happen. Oh,
yeah,
that's horrible.
yeah, because we enjoy that lifestyle. So
Right.
that's what they, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
So that's
guilty.
yeah. So we are guilty from the beginning.
Like complicit
Guilty.
in it,
You were
yeah.
born guilty.
Yeah, you are complacent. You don't do anything about it. So
Yeah.
you go, get out from here.
Yeah. So when you end up you go to the village outside of the town and you're here in America now, right? You're over in Tampa.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a long journey in
Yeah, that's
Tampa.
that's what
It's
I
a
was
long
getting to.
journey. It's now I don't have anything to write in my book.
Yeah, exactly. Quite a ways away from Florida. Um,
Yeah.
how did you get here? How did you land over in the U.S.? Or better yet, why the U.S.? You could have. I mean, there's a couple places. Or why not Australia? Australia is pretty close, and I mean, in 1970s they weren't.
Yeah, there are a lot of Cambodians went to Australia.
Yeah,
I have a connection in United States. One of my relatives, in fact, is my mom's cousin, came to United States before everything happened. So he was the connection, and I made connection with him. Well, I had to escape out of Cambodia first.
right.
Yeah, how can you kind of so like the communists take over, you leave, then how do you escape then?
I did not escape for about 5 years later. I
What?
suffer.
Wow.
Yeah, I suffer. I almost died.
Oh
Almost.
my God. And
Five
They
years?
that's living off of the land, just finding food to eat, finding water to drink, right? Because
not only don't have enough food, they push us to work extremely hard.
yeah,
We were in a forced labor camp.
Whoa.
wow.
So like you left the city and the communists like caught you?
they follow us. They know where we are going.
Oh,
So,
fair enough.
Oh,
That I'm sorry, I don't know anything
oh
about
my God.
this. So
Yeah,
they
no, when that's what I was saying. When I first met her in the forum, I was shook because, I mean, even in American literature, all growing up in high school here, there was no history on Cambodia. I don't remember learning anything about it. It was all Vietnam.
Vietnam, the
Yep.
Holocaust.
And I
Absolutely.
heard almost nothing of this. So that's why I was so eager to talk to you because I mean, so they follow you from where you escaped
There they
from.
are.
Yeah, they followed you. They kick you out from where they are. They follow you to get you back, and now they bring you to work for them. What
yeah.
what work are
So
you doing?
I end up. Well, it's a long journey before then, but to save us some time, I end up in the camp. This camp, they want single man and woman, so I fit into that category. So I went into that camp with 1,000 of us, 1,000 young men and women, all single. So that means I had to be separated from my uncle and his family. I by myself now, and they want us to go to work in the rice field every day, 7 days a week, and each day it's about 15 to 16 hours a day.
What?
And the time and the condition of the work is in the sun,
Yeah, outside.
outside in the field. And do you know how hot that is in
Yeah.
Cambodia?
Oh my
I
The
God.
how
temper
hot? How hot?
the temperature, I would say the average is about 100 degrees. And
And
That's
you
like humid as hell too.
yeah, that's
yeah,
that's I almost Iraq temperatures.
and you work in that heat all day long.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my god.
Uh,
and we receive very little food.
Yeah,
There
and
was
then
a
where do you
kitchen.
sleep? Where do you sleep after? You sleep next to each other on the
They
floor?
we have a shelter, so we sleep in the shelter on the floor. Yes, and about 10 of us in one shelter, and then another 10 in one shelter. So 1,000 total. And with this working condition, and with the little food that we receive, and we sleep about 4 hours a night. That's
What?
all. That's all the time that we can sleep.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. That and like too, they're probably like people were got to be getting sick though working that much, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We get sick very fast. So
Wow.
I, yeah, yeah.
So
And
how long
one
did that happen? How long did that go on for? The
4 years,
4
four
years.
years, 4 years I endure. But at one point, I got too sick to work. When 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 you are sick, you still need to go to work. Otherwise, you would not receive the little food that we're supposed to receive. So you cannot say you cannot say, oh, I'm sick, cannot work. No, if everybody say that, nobody can work because we are all sick. They know that. They know that. So
Yeah, and
until I got too sick to work, so I don't care. I can't go. So when that happened, they sent me to a hospital. They said you need to go to the hospital. So I feel a little bit better. I said, okay, maybe I can get help at the hospital. Guess what? When I got to the hospital, I realized it's not a hospital.
Yeah.
It's
what?
the infirmary. It's the infirmary. That place, there is no doctor, no medication. There's nothing to help us. It's just a place for you to wait for the time you die.
So you said you were too sick. They were like, "Oh, we're going to send you to a hospital, right?" And they send you to this place that's like a hospice just for you to die pretty much.
Yes, because if there is no doctor, there is no medication. What
Right.
hospital is that? What kind of hospital?
Yeah, it's just a room.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Um,
did you meet any? Do you have any friends from that time in? Did anyone else? Do you have any acquaintance that you still talk to? Like, because
Yeah,
when I went in
we
the military, I went overseas. I ended up suffering my mental health disorders. Then I ended up getting out, and I have probably the only real friends I have are from there still. So do you still have?
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few that we reach out and we one of my friend, she did the search online and she found me. She found me and she sent me an email. Not email. She sent me a letter.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for about 10 years ago. She found me, and then
Wow.
after we made connection, she told me about two other people that came from the same camp.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I get chills. I have chills from that. That's unbelievable.
yeah. And another thing that I want to mention is that remember I said we start out 1,000 of us.
Yeah.
At the end of 4 years, there are probably less than 300 people left. Many of them died.
And how many camps were in Cambodia? Was this the only one, or how many were around?
There are many, which I don't know how many
Yeah.
because there are a lot of region. They divided by region,
Right. And what
and
was?
some region is hard. It's harder than the other.
Okay.
So I consider my condition is not as serious, as bad as some other place.
did they ever like they had like guards at the camp? I assume.
Oh yes,
What
yes.
were what were they like? Can you describe them? Like y'all's interaction with them?
Well, they wear black uniform. They carry that big automatic weapon all the time, and and you just have to follow their rule. Their rule is just get up, go to work. Get up,
Wow.
you go to work,
It,
and then
this is crazy to me. And so you were in there for 4 years. You ended up going to the hospital. After the hospital, did they send you back because you recovered, or that was it after the hospital?
well, I had to escape from that hospital because I know
Should have known.
Well, yep, I should have known. No.
because well that's my story, my theme, my life theme is escaping because if you don't if you don't nobody nobody care about you.
Right.
Nobody can do anything. I realize that if I stay in this infirmary, there's nothing to help me to get better, but I will get worse because other people have many more disease.
Right.
So I already have a few. I cannot afford to add some more. And and I was so weak and I almost died already. I cannot take any more. So I sneak out.
How did you do
Sneak out.
that? Yeah, how did you do that?
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
How did you do that?
Well, they did not care too much about us because we are about to die anyway.
Yeah.
So the guard is the the armed guard is did not pay too much attention with us. So at, I was praying during during that stay in that infirmary. I was praying because I want to survive. I remember my family and I want to go back home. That's my that's my purpose. I want to survive because of them.
Right.
And I pray and ask God to help me. So hear what how God answered my prayer. Gave me a
Now,
little,
oh, I'm sorry. Go
give me
ahead.
a little bit extra strength. One morning when I woke up very early before everybody else, and I realized, oh, I feel a little bit better today. Oh, I'm going to walk out from here. I don't know what happened, what's going to happen, but I did. I
Yeah.
walked out, and I went back to where the work camp is. So I was very lucky. I met a team leader who is very kind. She's the one who come from the capital city just like me, but she was stronger than me. She didn't get as sick as I, so she had a leadership position. She controlled a few people in her team, and she saw me. She feels sympathy for me. She said, "Stay with me," and and she realized that I cannot do much because I'm too sick. So she went to the kitchen. It's a kitchen area where they prepare all the food for thousands of us. So she talked to them and asked if they can use my help. They said yes. So I got a job in the kitchen. That's my life-saving opportunity. Can
Wow.
you imagine?
Yeah.
Everybody else, everybody else worked extremely long hour and exhausted and starved, and I got a job in the kitchen. So I
Yeah.
think that's God answered my prayer.
So you're working in the kitchen, right? How long
Yes.
were you working in the kitchen for?
For about 5 6 months. Um, so I felt better every day, little by little. I gained my strength back. I feel less sick. So my sickness kind of shut off when I get some food, get more rest, and so eventually for about several months, I look normal again, almost normal, Al- almost normal.
About
So
as normal as you can look in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
no, so when the big boss saw how I look, how I feel, he wouldn't let me stay in the kitchen. So he pulled me out and throw me into the rice field again.
Oh my god.
And
So
now we're
you're
back.
just farming rice to feed the communists pretty much?
Farming rice and I don't know what they do with the harvest. Don't know what they
Oh,
do with the crop. They send it somewhere. We have no idea. All we need to know is just go
Yeah.
and work. Yeah.
so
Yep.
you get sent back to the rice field, right?
Hmm.
And was everyone like, "Hey, what happened? You
Yeah.
look
Where'd you go?
healthy." Yeah.
No, nobody pay attention to anybody because everybody would try to survive.
Yeah. Everybody's in their own head thinking all day. Especially so in your when you're in the rice fields, I'm sure you're not working alongside someone too, right? So you're outside
No.
in the sun for 14 to 16 hours in your own head all day long.
Hmm. Yeah. But when we go to the shelter to sleep at night, then we can have some social time. We talk to each other and so on. So
If you
I
don't want to sleep, if you don't want to get your extra 4 hours.
right, yeah. But
Yeah.
we are all exhausted. As soon as we put our head down, we are
Yep,
gone.
that's it. So nothing.
Wow. Yeah, I would be way too tired to talk about it. Or what are you going to talk about?
I
Like
mean, yeah, that's
football? You know?
that, that's
Like, bro, the communists been taking over for like years. What are you going to talk about? Like, I don't know.
yeah.
Oh, you
Oh,
know what? I want to share something funny now that you mentioned that.
yeah.
There, there are times that when we there are times when we get so hungry. We got so hungry and we are craving for all the beautiful food because what we eat is like rice and nothing else. It's just so boring. It's so tasteless. And we were dreaming about all the delicious food, curry and steak and all that wonderful thing. So we 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 whisper to each other. We we share with each other about the best recipe they can think of.
You guys are
Yeah.
oh, that's about all you can do.
We entertain each other about recipe. Oh, how do you
What what was your favorite recipe before you got in here? Wow. Wow, yeah,
so
because I mean, there's not much else to talk about. I mean, that's
so
like
that's
basic training,
entertain.
Kevin. Yeah, that's
That
what.
entertain our mind a little bit.
I mean, that
I
was
don't
the
know if that.
same after. I mean, in basic training, it was more like we could talk. There was a little bit more socialization. It's not completely communist, but it was wake up early at 5 a.m. It's wake up early at 5 a.m. and then by 7 p.m. we were done with whatever we did for the day, and now you could go to sleep. But you got to be back up at 4 a.m. to do all your bedding and everything. So if you really want to talk to people or write a letter to your family or anything, you got to use the time you would use for sleeping. So so for about a month and a half when I was in basic training, I mean, I tried to talk to try to talk to as many people as I can because it would keep me sane. But you're you're giving up sleep for that every minute you're talking
Yeah,
to someone.
it sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if my basic training was quite as bad as communist Cambodia.
yeah. I mean, there's just
That's
similarities.
the only thing that we have to parallel off of. Like
Exactly. Yeah,
that is
and it's
such an alien concept to any one of us here. Is
yeah.
like how many people, Trevor, you know that like escaped communism?
Or even wake up every day and can't go grab a glass of milk that they'd normally drink or their coffee that they'd normally drink. Just stuff like that that everyone. What would they do without it?
I don't even know, bro. It's insane to think about.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think America could use some time to think. They need to get off their phones and think that maybe we should use a couple hours in the sun, and and actually think that it's productive, and that we're not doing it enough now. But I mean, you're very well spoken, Sarah. It's very impressive how well you speak. And I'm sure English isn't your first language, right? So when did you start to switch to English?
Well, I start to learn to speak at when the time I arrived in United States. I was 27. That was
When
40. Yeah,
what
40
year?
years.
And you got here
81.
when?
81.
Wow.
1981. Yeah.
I mean, at least you got here at kind of a good time. Like the '80s was a pretty cool decade from like people that I talked to that were there, at least. Like if you got here in the '70s and we're like rationing gas and all that crap,
Yeah,
'80s was a pretty dope time to be alive.
yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
to the '80s.
Yeah,
So
I that's where I start to speak English. So it's not easy, but it's much better than the rice field in Cambodia.
Yeah. I'd rather learn English than have to work every day in a rice field.
so like they send you back to the rice field then, and like you were, how long were you there for before you? I mean,
Yeah,
or was
again.
that the last stop before you escaped?
No. Um, so I was sent back to the rice field. So altogether from the beginning until about 4 years into this, there was some commotion out. We heard some guns, some rocket in the distance. So the camp got moved. So they moved the camp. You know how where they moved? They moved to the jungle. So every week we pack up and then move. And then every time we get to a destination, we stop and we like clear out the place to cut down the trees and so on, and then find a place to sleep. So we keep moving. Every week or 2 weeks, we move to the next station, the next place. So I realized that we are moving into the jungle. So I got disappointed because I know in order for me to find my family, it's not it's not in the forest. It's not in the
Right,
jungle.
Going the
So
right.
wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
wrong direction. So wrong direction. So you know me now by now. I'm not going to conform anymore. So I'm planning escape. This time it's a very dangerous because they know somebody's coming after them.
Yeah, they're
And
running from
if
something.
yeah, but if we run away from them, from this group, that means we are sided to the enemy. So that's why hundreds of thousands of people get killed during that time. Try
Oh,
to get out from the communism into the new group that try to come and liberate us. So I didn't know who come to liberate, but I know that I don't want to keep going to the jungle. So I gathered three of my close friends and we planned a. Well, it's not much of planning. It's just pull up our courage. Let's do it. Let's do it. So four of us, we run out of that place in the middle of the night without knowing, without any map. There's no map. There's no direction.
Yeah, you're in
There's
the middle
no
of a jungle.
you just left.
jungle. There's no GPS.
Ain't no cell phones, bro.
Can't
So
You, you didn't have
we
like an Apple map pulled up.
call a cab.
Yo, an Uber.
oh,
That's
Down here in Cambodia. Can I get an Uber
yo.
ride right now?
Uber XL.
Wow.
yeah.
So, wow, that's. I mean, do you remember what you were thinking when you were escaping? Like, what was going on in your head when you were
Oh,
escaping? It was just get out.
Hope this works.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be thinking.
all I did not remember clearly what I was thinking. All I know, all I thought about at that time was it's like I hope they can't see us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was
Hope that
saying.
we can't see us. So we had to be very careful that we don't make any noise while we're stepping out, and just try to avoid where we kind of pin down where they are standing, where, what direction they might be looking at, and just a guessing game. So at that point, we just take a risk, big risk, without knowing too much about it. All we know is that we want to get out, find our own freedom.
Yeah, you're kind of really just concentrating, I gotta imagine, on getting the hell out of there. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's not. What do you don't really know too, like who the people that they're running from are, like what direction you like. You could have been running to another camp.
Yeah. Even if you were gonna try and plan something, what would you be actually able to plan? We're gonna
Wouldn't be able
run.
to
no,
plan.
We're gonna run west.
yeah, nothing to plan.
Yeah.
So it's just like the courage.
Yeah.
Be brave, be brave. If you want freedom, this is your opportunity. So
And
I asked three of my friends. I said, I want to get out. You want to go with me? I do that because I was so frail. All year into that, I fell back. I lost all my weight and was skinny, exhausted, tired. So I need some support. So my three friends, agreed to go with me, and
and
yeah,
what you were on the run then, pretty much, just in the middle of the night.
hmm
Okay, and then what?
and then all night long we were walking, all night long until the next day when we can see each other's face again, and we look. That's the only four of us that we can see each other. I mean, we are free. We are
Yeah.
free. And we keep walking, keep walking. We look through the pathway and we just continue, follow the pathway. And finally, we saw some people. And I asked for direction to my hometown. And some people know and they point me to the right direction. So I just follow them. So it's a long walk, very long walk,
Yeah.
very long. Weeks, weeks, weeks of walking.
Oh,
Barefoot, barefoot.
I didn't even think about that. You didn't have shoes?
No.
So you were walking through the jungle in Cambodia in the middle of the night with no shoes on.
For weeks.
I vaguely remember. We used to have one pair of shoes of all that years. We might still have that shoe with us. I very vaguely. I could not remember.
But it wasn't
Wow.
no like hiking boot though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're not
No,
they're not gonna go and give you.
no, no. There's a rubber shoes that make out of the tire, the the the
Oh, the wheels.
the wheels. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
they
you
cut it
just like
up and make it.
Crocs. Yeah, they give you
Yeah,
yeah.
they make
Like
into the
Crocs.
shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it lasts many years.
Yeah.
And I think we might still have that. I, I couldn't remember. Not anyway. So when I saw people and I asked for direction and I was so surprised. Why these people walk so freely? What happened? Why are they so
Yeah.
free?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask. They're just out there, like these aren't like guards or
Right,
anything.
right. So so I don't know who to ask, but finally, after I get to my hometown and I tracked down my family and I found my family at the end. And, and my dad was not at home at that time. I said, "What? Where is dad?" Mom said, "Oh, your dad ride a bicycle everywhere, every day, looking for you."
Wow.
My dad was looking for me everywhere, asking people, "Have you seen my daughter? Have you seen my daughter?" He didn't
Eh,
get any answer. So,
did he come home then?
yeah, he came home later and surprised to find me alive.
Yeah.
Find me alive. And then I found out that the whole country had been liberated 4 months ago.
And you've been on the run for 4 months.
Oh
Just
my god!
going oh my gosh.
So the country gets liberated, and these clowns move you into the jungle,
Yeah.
and then just keep moving.
Hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
my god!
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I did not escape, I probably still
Yeah.
in the jungle. Or I probably die already.
Yeah. I
So
mean the communists were just running. They didn't have a plan. They were so they just run into the jungle until we get
yeah,
caught, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So so that's my bravery story. It's like sometimes you have to take a risk. You
Yeah.
cannot be you cannot be complacent.
Did the communists get to your parents?
Well, that's another story. My my family was in the different city from me when I was evacuated. I was evacuated from the capital city, but my family is in another province. So they got evacuated the same thing, the same time. But when the time that the country was liberating, my family gathered each other together and then tried to get out from the communists, and they got caught.
Oh, that ain't good.
They got caught, but um, my mom was so smart with come up with something that make them put down their gun. So I outline it on my book,
Yeah. Yeah.
dedicated one chapter to that. So I am so grateful that they did not pull the trigger. If they did, it was it would be a different story. I probably wouldn't be here to talk about it.
Did you find out who liberated the country?
Yeah, surprise! It's the Vietnamese from next door.
No kidding.
Wow.
Wow. What
Wow. Go ahead, Kevin.
I'm just thinking, like, So the communists were in Vietnam, right? Did they get liberated from communism and then the same force went to Cambodia? Or am
No,
I just don't know?
I don't know. The
Yeah.
communists in Cambodia was formed differently, separately from the communists in Vietnam. So in
Oh,
1975, this Saigon fell. So the communist Vietnamese took over the whole country. Before there was a North Vietnam and then a South Vietnam. And then in 1975, the the whole Vietnam became communism.
And that's around when Cambodia. No, Cambodia was earlier.
And it's about the same time.
Okay.
The same time, yeah. But somebody from Cambodia um, went out to tell the Vietnamese that there are a lot of killing in Cambodia.
Yeah, it must. Yeah, word of mouth.
So so that was the act of trying to stop the killing. The killing they the communist Cambodian, they kill everybody that have anything in their blacklist. So if you are educated, if you have connection with previous government, if you have been in the military, if you make a lot of money in business, so on so forth. There's a long list. So I could have been eliminated, but um, I was displaced a few times. So somehow they lost track of me. So as a college student, they consider a educated person also. So they do that to avoid the uh, the rebellion. So
Right.
the
Right.
educated people might get together and do something
And
and
yeah,
fight the
yeah,
system.
and say these guys are all not as smart as we are.
hey y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they don't just kill one person; they kill the whole family.
Oh.
That's why
Wait, 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 wait. So if they found out that you were educated, they would have killed you and your whole family?
that's what happened.
Oh my god. That's like
Yeah,
some North Korea shit, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
trying.
what
Why?
happened.
Why would it be different just because you didn't finish your degree? Like you were going to be educated, you were getting educated. It's just so crazy to me that for all the evil communism is, I mean, for some reason they still gave you a shelter in the rice fields. They're treating you so poorly, but for some reason they still let you sleep inside on the ground, right? They still gave you a roof. Why? They're doing so many other bad things to you. It just seems so weird where they draw the line finally, and that
Yeah.
even that just seems like one of those things. Why would they not consider you educated at that stage?
Well,
You know?
um, because I did not come out right to tell them what I did before. There was some time
Oh, they didn't know.
they didn't know. They didn't
Oh
know.
man.
That's a good thinking on
Because
your
you're
part,
educated.
yo.
Yeah, because you're educated.
Yo.
Yeah, because I
Wow.
had been running away.
Yeah.
There's a long story. You have to read the book.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. What is the name of the book? We'll put it all in the description below for everybody, but
It's called How I Survived the Killing Field.
Wow.
yeah, that's awesome. How hard I've in the future I'm going to write a book. I have already decided it. How hard was it for you to put your thoughts on the paper like that?
Well, for me, there's a lot of lag time because it had been so long ago. I tried to forget. I did not mean to write this book, but there are some situations that are compelling me to write it because at one point, I realized that my story might help other people in in a very good way. So I decided to write, and after I wrote, I want to put some picture at the end of the book. So there are some picture of me, my husband, and so on at the end of the book. And
Wow.
I reach out to my brother My brother live in Connecticut. I said, "Can I have a permission to put your picture on the back of the book?" He said, "What book? Why?
Oh,
Why do you need to write that?" And he said, "Don't write. Don't do anything. Don't do it.
Why did he not want you to?
it it's a lot of bitterness, a lot of
Right.
anger, and it's just like doesn't want to have anything to do with it."
Right.
like he
And
just wants to put it all behind him.
yeah, yeah. So with that, I did not put my brother's picture in it, and I did not. Well, the name of my brothers and all that, it's all fictitious. I don't want to reveal too much, and I don't want anybody to get into trouble
Right.
because the communist Meru, it might be hidden somewhere. We don't know. So just the precautions. I don't want anybody to get hurt because of my book. It's in my talk right here too. It's right in the open, and
Yeah.
I don't want my family to get hurt because I'm doing this because I want to share the story, the real, the true story, so that we don't want into the get into the same trap.
Right.
When people do something with anger, if the anger is the propelling factor for you to do something, the outcome is not good. But if you do something because of your love, your compassion, your kindness, that's a different story.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
Sarah, you you have shook me today. This is just such a great story to hear. Um, because I've always been very interested in history. That's always just been one of my other than math. My math was the one I excelled in. Um, but yeah, history, and especially recently, I've just been just doing my research, just learning and learning. And books, for one, are one of the most purest forms of learning the history because if you do find a book like yours, it is the truth. There is no she might be lying or whatever. Or whereas when you scroll on an article somewhere, it could be lying. If it's Fox News or anyone, it could be lying. It's just book just seems like such a pure form of content for a situation like this, and it definitely set out to start reading more books. So I would like to read yours for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
No,
So
I'm just I think it's super dope that you wrote this book. I think one of the tragedies, I guess, of history is that there's so many stories that are just not told and then forgotten. Um, so like just to have a firsthand account like yours, I think it's incredibly special, and I'm just thankful that you have it like documented on a book. That way, I mean, your story will live for so much longer, you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh Lord.
Thank you
Well,
for letting me share.
no, thank you so much for saying. I know it couldn't be too easy to get through it, especially the first couple times you were trying to share, right? So I applaud you for your ability to tell the story. It was very very well done, and you have a smile on your face. Like you're very similar to my grandmother. My grandmother, she passed away in 2013, and I see a lot. Just you're telling this crazy story, and you're smiling, and you,
Yeah.
like what I'm saying. It's something my grandma did all the time, and people look at me crazy when I'm smiling in a situation like this, where we're telling such a crazy, brutal story. But um, if you
Yeah, it's all in your head and all in your heart. So for me to revisit the situation, it's not easy. But I have done it. The very first time when I wrote the book, I deal with it. I dealt with it. So I'm healed. So now when I go and speak at the for the group, for the company, and so on, I speak from a place of heal. I'm already healed. I'm over it. It's my experience. I'm using it to help other people. So that's my position. So I'm not coming out as a victim. You see the difference?
Yeah.
If I'm not a victim, I win over it. I I triumph over this.
Wow. No, like that.
It's
I was thinking the same thing too when you were telling me this story. Like this is like some of the most evil things humans can do to each other, and you're speaking about it so like matter of factly. I'm like, bro, you're talking about how like you were just getting work like a slave in these rice fields, like it's just like going to work. I'm like, what? I don't know. I think it just speaks to like your character and your resiliency, and I don't know. It's just crazy, but I just appreciate hearing it. It's a great story. Just thankful
Thank
I could hear
you.
it.
Thank you. So yes, every time if something bad happen to you, you don't take it as you are the victim. Nobody can harm you if you don't let them. They might be able to harm you physically, but not mentally.
I have
That
been
is,
told that like if you think you're the victim, you're giving whatever was hurting you control and more power over you.
yeah,
Wow.
wow.
yeah.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much. I'm very excited to rewatch the episode even. um, I can't wait. I'll be in the M3 linked from now on as well, so I hope to see you there. Um, but yeah, I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing your story. It's unbelievable, and even to have someone willing to share is a gift
I
nowadays.
appreciate I appreciate you. If you are if you are able to give me a review, I have a Google my business. You can Google for Sara Im other speaker. You will find. And also I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. So wherever you can do a review, that would be great too.
Yeah,
That's
and
my
we'll for all the people listening, we'll put all those links down in the bottom so that you could just click them and help out, spread some light around the world because we need it. But
thank
Absolutely.
you.
with that
Thank
said,
you for
Sarah,
having me.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you probably next week at the forum if you're there.
Yeah, yes. Kevin, nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Great meeting you too. Thank you so much for coming on.
All right, bye everybody.